Hello guys. So we are now done with all kind of data structures. First we understood about list and then tuples and dictionaries and then sets. Now everything has been done. Now we are coming on to the new topic, that is list comprehension. As the name suggests, it means now from today onwards and few next videos I'll just tell you a shortcut way to create a list. I'll tell you how. So stay tuned and let's start the video. Now I have example number one ready for you. Let's say I have the list of porosity values, that is 10%, 20%, 35%, 19%, and let's say 18%. What I want to do is I want to create another list in which it will give me the fractional value of this porosities. Means I want the list which will include 0.10, 0.20, 0.35 and like that. So what I can do is, let's see the long method first, which I have already told you. That long method will be, what you do is you first create an empty list. So let's say por frac, that is porosity fraction, you have empty list. Now what I'll do is I'll run a for loop for I in my list por. So I'm running a loop here in this video, in this list. So for I in por, what I want to do is I just want to append in list por frac, right? In this list, what I want to append, my values of I by 100. That will be I by 100, because first time I will be 10, so I'll appending 10 by 100, it will make it 0.10. Then second time I becomes 20, then 20 by 100, 0.2, and similar way it goes on till 18. Now I'll end this for loop and I'll simply print my por frac. Okay, again I have misspelled it here, por frac. So you can see that I'm getting a right output. But now there's another way using list comprehension. What I can do is I can simply shorten down this code. So how will I do this? That I'll create a list which I want. Let's say por frac, this time new, por frac new. How do you do a list comprehension? Is that you simply create this empty list has been created. You first write down the result you want. So I want I by 100, right? So I by 100, in where from where this I by 100 is, I is what? I is something which is running inside a for loop, right? So that for loop is running my for I in which list? This list, right? So that becomes for I in por. This is how you do it by a list comprehension. So if I print my por frac new, it will give me the same results. But this time I have just you have see this, it was a 3-line code, I have just converted into a single line code, and it is a lot more easier to understand as well. So this is how you do a list comprehension. You just write the result you want, I by 100, then you write a for loop, whatever you in which you are loop doing, then for I in porosity, simple statement like that. Great. Now let's go on to example number second. Okay, this is now telling me that we need a function which gives us a list of hydrocarbon saturation when water saturation is given. Let us add here one more sentence, that assuming gas saturation is 0. Okay, so I need a function, right? First of all, it gives me that my water saturation is given. So let's say my water saturation is given in such a way, 0.14, I'm taking in fraction only this time, 0.45, 0.29 and 0.16. So these are my saturation water value givens. I want to now, obviously gas saturation is 0, so I want hydrocarbon saturation. So I'll do it oil saturation now. So my oil saturation will be 1 minus saturation of water. Great. So simply what I know is that I'll do 1 minus 0.14, 1 minus 0.45, 1 minus 0.29. If I want to do it long method, what I can do is I'll create a new list. Let's say ABC, that is an empty list, and for I in my SAT underscore W, for I underscore w, that will be I want to append inside my ABC, and what I will append is 1 minus I. Now if I print my ABC, it will give me, so this ABC basically contains my oil saturation. But here I have to create a function, right? I haven't created a function, I have written a whole code again. So what I'll do is I have to write the same code inside a function only this time. I'll do it in Excel. What I'll do is I'll define my function name, that is, let's say my function name is SAT oil, saturation of oil. It takes a list. That list will be basically of water saturation, right? So let's say that list name is A. Here you will create an empty list again, so O underscore S, that stands for oil saturation, let's say, and I'll create this empty list, and now I'll write for I in my A, that is saturation water list. And what I want to do is I want to append here 1 minus I, right? And what after exiting the for loop, and now we are inside our function, that is saturation oil, it will return what it will return. It will return me the value of oil saturation list, right? So I have created a function. Now whenever I call this function, how do I call? Like this, and inside this parenthesis what you write a list. So my list will be of this list, water saturation list. So I'll simply write here SAT underscore W, and it will give me I'll write triple P here. Now see, we are getting the same results, this time by creating a function. Now again, inside this function we can also do a list comprehension. How can we do that? So now whatever I have told you, I'll create the same function again, saturation oil. It takes a list A. Now this time creating there will be no need of creating an empty list. What I can do is I can simply write here for loop for I in A, inside my any list A. What I'll do, it will give me a list. I'll just give a name here, this time say SAOIL, SAOIL. It will give me a list. What that will be? 1 minus I. How I write comprehension? I'll write result first, 1 minus I, and I'll write then for I in SAT. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have to write a for loop here inside my list comprehension only. So I'll just remove this one, right? Why I'm writing it 2 times? So I'll do that for you if you are still confused. So I create my function name. I have given a parameter A inside that. Now what I want it to return is it should return me a list that contains my saturation of oil. So what I'll do is that this time this will be my list name, and what I want is 1 minus I for I in A, right? And so it will give me return oil. Now if I call this function, that is my function name is saturation of oil, in the list of my saturation of water is SATW. See, I'm getting the same result. Now I have reduced the lines of my code. Although they both are giving me the same output, these two cells are giving me the same output, but I have reduced the amount of lines in this code using list comprehension. In this I have used this for a single line. Here I did this for the same 3 lines. So this is how a list comprehension makes your life easy. So in the next video we'll see that how can we use list comprehension using if statements and if else statements if we have multiple conditions. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you there. Thank you.